Hello, people. It's your boy Osman back again. Finally, the Premier League has returned, and we have got an absolute banger of a panel for you. Manchester United taking on Leeds United. One of the famous derbies in the Premier League is back. And listen, it's the first day of the Premier League at Old Trafford. We're going to be discussing all things the game, but before we get into that, enjoy the intro as always.
United.
Yes, as I was saying in the intro, first game of the season, we've got an absolute unbelievable panel. Make sure you slap a like, subscribe to the channel. Everyone's links are down below. Make sure you show love to them. Subscribe to the channel. Flawless is laughing because I've completely ripped off his intro and he already knows it. I've already told him, listen, just take it as an inspiration. You're an inspiration to the homie.
Yeah, I don't even take. Yeah, serious. That's how I take it, man. Innit? You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
you give me
listen,
plaudits. That's all that matters, innit? You give me the plaudits. Here's what it is, man.
I copied that
A1.
I ain't gonna lie. So make sure you show love to them. Subscribe to the channels. Obviously, subscribe to here as well. But listen, let's just get into it. Enough waffling. First and foremost, let's introduce the panel. On my left, we have got Oscar in the building. Oscar, how are you doing, mate?
I'm good, mate. I'm good. I'm just buzzing. The proper footy's back now. None of this international football, proper football. Get in there.
Yes. Love that. Loving the energy, Oscar. You love to steer. And below me with one of the best green screens going. Fancy badge, of course. We've got Joe in the building. Joe, how are you, bro?
Yeah, good, man. Really good. Really hyped. You can't not be hyped with your intro, eh? You've got me bouncing, mate. You know what I mean? But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, man.
I mean, you're going to get a lot of this in the chat, just throwing it out there.
It's good. It's good.
Yes, but listen, that's what it's all about. And last but not least, the homie, the one and only, Flawless is back in the building. Flawless, how you doing, bro?
Yo, blessed for having me. And like Joe said, I'm loving the intro. You know what I'm saying? The energy and that. I hope United have that much energy on the pitch on Saturday. You feel me? And that, like, it is, man. Good vibes. Clearly, you're looking forward to the start of the season.
Listen,
clearly,
I'm absolutely buzzing. As
you really are.
I've had enough of the international football. Listen, it was all good. England, football's coming home, etc. Don't get me wrong. I was all for it, but after that finished, I mean, fair play Olympics, you enjoy it, but it's just not the same, is it? We won the Premier League back. A lot of teams have made good signings. Leeds haven't made many signings, as me and Oscar discussed prior to the show, but it's still very exciting. We don't know what's going to happen. But listen, I'm just going to get straight to it. Oscar, first and foremost, you've seen the comment already on screen. The dirty Leeds. Oscar, is this rivalry
Love it.
big? Is this rivalry still big for you guys? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, of course it is. I mean, I'm not going to lie. When I saw that fixture come out, I thought, first game of the season, wow, that'll just be a quiet afternoon in the library around Old Trafford, won't it? That'll be.
Shots fired already,
I've not got tickets to the game, but I know a couple of people who have. Trust me, it's still a proper rivalry. It's been, look, I know we played last season. There wasn't fans there. Yeah. It's going to be some atmosphere. In that game. I just hope we start it a bit better than last time around. That would be hard. That's setting the bar quite low. But as long as we're not 2-0 down after 3 minutes, and that is Scott McTominay basically turned into prime Zidane for about
Paul Scholes, man.
90
You
minutes.
thought he was Paul Scholes.
Legit. I don't know what happened.
McTominay masterclass. That's what happened in that. McTominay masterclass. They didn't know what hit them. That's going to happen again.
I legit missed the first goal. And then when people put on the chat, like the WhatsApp group, McTominay scored. I thought, it's 1-0. Don't I know McTominay's got a double within like 4 minutes or whatever. But I was like, I don't know what's going on. But Joe, what are your thoughts on the rivalry? Do you still hate Man United? Or are Man United's biggest rivals? Is this the game you look forward to the most? What would you say?
Yeah, 100%, mate. Yeah, like I can't. It's what we wanted to be back in the Premier League for. I cannot wait for Manchester United to come to Ellen Road. Genuinely, it's going to be some atmosphere there. I remember just going back to what Oscar said when we got you on the first game of the season. I remember ringing my missus. She was at work in a meeting. She was like, "What's up? What's going on?" I went, "We got Man United, you know." She was like, "Do you know what? I'm at work, man. Like, why are you phoning me?" I was like, "Oh, sorry."
Serious. It's like an emergency or something.
She was thinking something was up with my son or something, but now I was just like so hyped about playing Manchester United the opening game. And, I can't wait, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt, man. Listen, I mean, you know what? Just before I get into Florence, honest to God, this is actually quite funny. Like, I literally found out 2 weeks ago, and that no joke, that my dad's a Leeds United fan. I didn't know this my whole life. Like,
what?
Basically, all my family are Manchester United fans. Literally everyone, right? So my dad's always said he supports United, so I just assumed he meant Man United because literally the entire family supports Man United. Then my dad's like, "Yeah, I can't wait for the first game of the season." I was like, yeah, it's gonna be a good one. What do you reckon? He goes, "Yeah, I think Leeds will take you." Lot. I was like, "What? You know about you?" Like, oh my God, honest to God, I just like, you know, I need to get into a different situation. But Flawless thoughts. Do we really care about Leeds? That's the question. Are they relevant? Like, do we care? Like, what are your thoughts?
Not in terms of course, because they're the rivals. You never forget that. You get me? Do we care? Yes. Do I want to see them back in the Premier League? Absolutely not. I'm probably in the minority. I didn't want them to come up. You know what I'm saying? And I was happy seeing them in the Championship. Yeah, man, we can just meet them occasionally in the FA Cup and the League Cup and keep it moving. What happens if someone takes them over? This is Manchester City 2.0. They get a big takeover. Like, as much as it pains me to admit it, they are a sleeping giant. If someone takes them over, they could be a problem. And that's what happened with Manchester City. If we was having this conversation 20 years ago, people were like, "Oh, I want that." Like, nah. I'm not with that, innit? I want to see my rivals suffering, slumming around in Championship, League One, League Two. All them years that Leeds was in the Championship, I checked for their results every weekend just to make sure they didn't come up. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the type of petty individual I am. But yes, obviously the occasion's big. Opening game of the season at home to Leeds. It don't really get much better than that, but we have to win. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully we beat them, you know, McTominay masterclass, another 6-2.
I mean,
and then happy days.
Flipping out, Lord have mercy. You used to say great point, Flawless, Sleeping Giants, just like Arsenal Football Club. I mean, absolutely. Arsenal definitely in that category as well. But listen, let's get into it. Second season syndrome. I'm from Sheffield, so I know everything about this with Sheffield United. I mean, a lot of my mates are Sheffield United fans, of course, and, you know, they're absolutely capitulated. The second season, the first season, similar to yourselves, flying high. I know the scenarios are slightly different in terms of, you know, squad depth, that kind of thing, a bit more quality, obviously, better manager, etc. But, Oscar, we'll come to you first and foremost. Does it worry you, with a lack of signings currently, that there may be a situation that it might be second season syndrome?
Not really. No, to be honest. I mean, look, the Premier League, I think what we had last season was, because, to be honest, it was a little bit easier than I thought it was going to be. You know, I think a lot of games, obviously,
it's a lot easier than I thought it was going to be.
Well, it was, to be honest. There were certain games where I thought, we're going to get, you know, City, for example. I thought, I don't know how we're going to get a kick against someone like a City. We took 4 points off them. Liverpool, we did okay against. Obviously, you guys, second time around, we did well against Ellen Road. And yeah, look, I didn't think we'd finish in ninth at the start of the season. And then kind of, as the season went on, I thought, you know what, I don't feel that bad going into games. You know, we go to like places like Leicester and that lot, and you think, yeah, they're in the 4th or 5th, but we're doing ourselves proud in those kind of games. I think obviously next season, you've got the factor of fans in the grounds. I do think that will help us, to be honest, in home games. I do feel that's going to help us overall. But you just never know. I mean, every game's a challenge. You know, it's not like a Championship where you go into every game and it's kind of like you should be winning kind of thing, like it was, you know, the first 2 seasons under Bielsa. Because you look at even like Norwich and Watford, they've just come up. They got 80. I think one got 89 points, the other got 95 points, and they're among the favourites to go down, kind of thing. Yeah. So no game's going to be easy. That's what we've got to remember. I think the whole league in general, I think the teams that are coming up are better than the teams that went down. Even look at your Aston Villas and that lot, the recruitment they've done. They finished 11th last season. I think they've improved. There's a few teams that you're not so sure on, but I still think overall, with the management we've got, difference makers like Rafinha, Calvin Phillips, Rodrigo, Bamford, you know, that's the thing that I think gives me more confidence that we're not going to do a second season syndrome at all. I think you look at those difference makers we've got in the team. Sheffield United, even in that season where they finished 9th, couldn't score many goals. I think me and Joe's friend Hal from the Sheffield United Way said number of times that if they were going to win games, they had to win it 1-0. They weren't going to win games 2-1. They weren't going to win games 3-2. They didn't have the goals in the team. We scored 62 goals last season. I don't see that big a drop-off. It would have to be a big drop-off for us to be in relegation trouble. We might finish a bit lower in the table. It might be a bit more of a struggle from time to time. It might go the other way. I just think we're in the great unknown, because I think ultimately going into this season, I'm sure Joe will agree with this as well, I thought we'd do a lot more business by now. I thought by that Man United game, I thought we'd have a centre mid through the door, a backup winger, maybe a couple of signings elsewhere. We haven't really. We've just signed a left back and backup goalkeeper thus far in terms of senior options. So, yeah, it's hard to say, to be honest, mate. I think it depends who we get through the door between now and the end of the window. Obviously, Matthias Cunha has been linked from Hertha Berlin. I mean, the quote of 20-25 million is unreal. I don't see it happening myself. But if something like that did happen, we did get another Rafinha on transfer deadline day, then there's no reason why we can't kick on again. But I'm not worried about a second season syndrome thus far.
Yeah, no, I think a lot of the points you made are factors in terms of your comparison to Sheffield United. You kind of mentioned the fact that they didn't score a lot of goals, which is understandable, because I think they scored like 30 goals or something, like within the 30s, and they conceded like 20 something or something on those lines. But my thing with Leeds is, right, Joe, I'm going to throw this to you. Again, this might not be completely factual. I mean, I saw it somewhere. I don't know if it's completely factual, but roughly, I believe that Leeds were conceding a lot of goals from individual errors, in particular defensively. And I think you conceded like 6 or 7 chances just from individual errors from your defense. So it's not the attack that Leeds is going to falter with. I think defensively, Joe, is that going to be a concern for you going to the second season? Because a lot of teams are going to be looking at how to play against Leeds, similar to what you did against us in the second game at Ellen Road, how you thought, okay, we can't be that expansive against Man United. They're going to slap us again. You kind of looked at that. A lot of teams are going to be looking at Leeds and wonder how they can hit you on the break. Because I can tell you now, Burnley and teams like that are the teams you need to worry about. Because against the big teams, I think you'll actually be all right, because they'll play in your favour to an extent. But against teams like Burnley, when they're sitting back and you have to break them down, and they've got Wood up top, I mean, I think that's where the struggle's going to be like. But George, defensively, do you think you need to fix something there, so to speak?
Yeah, but I think, in terms of goals conceded towards the back end of the season, we did do that. I think we were one of the best performing teams in terms of numbers conceded towards the back end of the season. There was a definite switch. I think Diego Llorente played a big part.
Someone please say for Jones, what you thought?
No chance. Not a chance.
You're good. You're good, folks.
You're all right, mate.
I think it'll be good for you guys, to be fair. He'll get injured every 4 weeks, but you'll be right.
Yeah. No, we're good. But no, look, I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned. I agree with Oscar. I think maybe we could have done a bit more business. But it is what it is. I think they spent big last summer, so that they didn't have to do it second time around. We're in a much stronger position than a Sheffield United were, for example. I think they went crazy spending money on Ryan Brewster, all these attackers trying to get goals, and they just wasted the money for me, And I think recruitment's key. And I know that's mad when you think we've only done one, but we've automatically improved our defensive backline by bringing Junior Firpo. Junior Firpo, obviously from Barcelona. I know he didn't play a lot, but when you've got Jordi Alba in front of you, it's tough to get past that man, for a starting berth. But he's a great left back, and Alioski wasn't really, if we're being totally honest. And so Junior Firpo automatically improves that backline. I think Pascal Struijk is one to watch this season. Look, he's wanted by both Holland and Belgium. He's an amazing centre back. I call him Virgil van Struijk. I know not a lot of people will get onto that, but they will see they will see this guy develop. Struijk, yeah, man. So I think he's key. Obviously, Meslier as well. He's a great goalkeeper. I think we'll be all right, mate. Defensively, I'm not concerned. Obviously, Calvin as well will improve even more, because the experience of being in the Euros and playing such an integral part and getting to the final, that sort of experience, what it can do for a player is just crazy, So I think he'll improve from that as well. So not conceding. Look, second season syndrome is a fallacy, man. It's I don't know. It's a fallacy, but we don't need to be
I
there.
don't think it is, you know. I'm not going to lie, because I do think a lot of teams get found out. I mean, you've seen it with so many.
Bielsa don't get found out, us man. I mean, Bielsa's too.
Yeah, because
too
he's got
cute
bloody binoculars, fucking like Carrington as we speak. You know
come on, man. That's lazy. You're not one of them. You're not coming with that. That's lazy.
Nah, I'm just throwing it out there. But no, obviously Bielsa's the top. Bielsa's the top coach, man. I would love him on Man United personally, but you know, it is what it is. Flawless, what are your thoughts on Leeds as an opposition? First game of the season. Is this a bit of a poison chalice, or are you confident with the fixture, so to speak?
No, I wouldn't say a poison chalice. No, obviously we know Leeds' strengths. We know what he did last season. You already know, Lewis. I know you love the propaganda names. That's why I was betting up as well. We know what can happen. We know what Leeds are capable of with Bielsa, the attacking players they have. You know, it's not going to be an easy game. Yes, we beat them 6-2 last year, but that's a one-off. Like, I'm not expecting a repeat of that. So poison chalice, no. Do I expect United to win? Yes, because we have the better 11. Therefore, we should win the game. And if anything less than a win would be disappointing. Like, yes, you would love a great performance on top of that as well, but it's just get the win. Like, we've watched United seasons, well, under Ollie's season and season out. We know what it's like. It's rare we get good performances anyway. Just get the win. Like, yes, I would like it. You don't want Leeds spoiling the party. You know what I'm saying? You got Sancho, you got Varane coming in. Well, they both came in. You got this feel-good factor, and then Leeds come and beat us on the opening day of the season. It just nosedives the season. It just knows. Like, imagine we lose 2-1 to Leeds at Old Trafford on the opening day of the season. Sancho, whether he starts or comes off the bench, same for Varane, and Leeds do us. Like, that just deflates the season already. You're already thinking, oh, this is gonna be a long season. Leeds go. It's probably two things. Is if we win, it's the best because it's Leeds, but if we lose, it's the worst because it's Leeds. You know what I'm saying? Because it's the rivals. That's how I'd look at it. If we win, it's something to go on from. If we lose, it's like, oh damn. So let's hope we get the victory in it.
Obviously we're gonna go into the strengths and weakness of each team, obviously how opposition, so to speak, see us. But for me personally, I do agree with you, Flawless. Like, in terms of poison challenge, I don't think it's a poison challenge. I think Leeds, it's gonna be interesting to see how they set up. It's gonna be interesting how Bielsa approaches this. For me personally, my main concern is what the fitness levels of our players are. I mean, I've not seen much of McTominay in pre-season. I feel like if he plays the right team, the likes of Van der Beek, obviously we'll get into the selection later. Van der Beek, Matic maybe, double pivot. I don't know if Pogba's quite fit yet. And then I would be quite confident going into the team. But
that's a great point. Because I've heard, sorry to cut you off, I've heard that certain players for Manchester United are missing. I heard, like, obviously we know Rashford's out. I'm hearing Cavani's not here. I'm hearing there's a couple of
Varane's not here.
Varane's not here.
What a shame. What a shame that is. Cavani and Varane not available. I'm so gutted about that. I'm so gutted.
I'm sure you guys are devastated
this. I was speaking about this to my mate earlier on, who's a Manchester United fan, and he said, maybe Varane will have his medical and then he'll throw him straight in. And do you know what? I hope he does, because I think it'd be suicide. Like, Leeds United are a totally different kettle of fish, and for Varane to come in and his first, I get it. I know he's
Varane or Lindelof.
No, I get this, but what I'm saying is, I just think. No, I get that.
I get Joe's point. I get where Joe's coming from. It is very tough.
Yeah,
it is.
Yeah.
But Lindelof is awful, so I'm taking Varane at 70%. I'm taking Varane at 70%. What you're saying is not wrong. Like, that's not the game you would ideally want to throw Varane into. But Lindelof is that bad where it's like, you know what? We've spent money on you. You're coming in with a big reputation. I rate him highly. Throw him in at the deep end. You need to be thrown in at the deep end, 100%.
I mean, Varane lovely compassion just been completed now, as we're told.
Let's go. Shout out large up Jerry as well.
Yes, you love to see it. Oscar, what are your thoughts? Obviously, look, let's talk about Man United very briefly. In terms of the threats that we possess, who worries you the most? Just to give you a bit of context, Cavani's definitely not playing. We know Rashford's not playing. I think that's it. Varane potentially not playing. Sancho's probably going to be on the bench, most likely, so he'll probably come off the bench. So who is the one player that you're massively worried about?
I mean, if he was playing, it would be Rashford straight away, because I think Rashford in that 6-2 game, I don't think he even scored in that game, but we just couldn't get near him. We like to man-to-man mark teams, and I think it was Dallas or Ayland who were on Rashford. They just couldn't get near him for pretty much the whole game. I think the obvious one's got to be Fernandes. I mean, is Pogba? Will Pogba be available?
Yeah, I've got a feeling he might play Pogba left wing, Flawless.
Yeah, I think I think Pogba, the way he played the Euros, I
I'm
thought.
fine with that. If Pogba starts on the left wing, sorry to cut you off, also, I'm cool with Pogba playing on the left wing. Yeah, I'm fully all right with that. If that, I'd rather see him there than playing holding midfield. So yeah, playing from the left.
Well, that's it, isn't it? I mean, you play Pogba higher up. The higher up you play him, the less defensive responsibility he's got, and that's the best. That's the best you get out of Pogba, isn't it? You saw at the Euros what he was doing alongside the Kante. I can't personally, from like a Leeds point of view, I can't believe Man United haven't signed a holding midfielder after seeing what Pogba did alongside Kante. I don't know, but I'm actually not too bothered about that, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, look what Pogba did at the Euros. Obviously, Fernandes had a bit of a quieter Euros, but we know that even when he's having 89 very quiet minutes, he can still pop up with that moment of quality outside the box, inside the box, cross into the box, anything. Very dangerous player to have in your team. So, yeah, I think them two are obvious ones. Cavani, you don't think's available.
Cavani's right not available.
Again, that's a boost for us, for me, personally. I think that's a big boost. I think, obviously, Mason Greenwood is someone I do rate quite a lot. I think he's going to get better and better. And Luke Shaw at left back. I mean, how good was he at the Euros, by the way? I mean, he's such an attacking weapon to have, in terms of Rafinha's going to have to definitely do his defensive part of the game, tracking Luke Shaw back. Very interesting battle, that, by the way, Rafinha and Luke Shaw. And I think that'll be the key battle in the game. But yeah, I think Fernandes and Pogba, the definite ones for me.
Well, without a shadow of doubt. You haven't mentioned a player that was linked to Leeds, Dan James. Would you still take him, Joe?
Yeah.
Any chance you want to give us Rafinha? Take Dan
James? Yeah. Listen, I'd take Dan. I would take Dan James, right? I think there's levels to this. One's a PE teacher. One's the best coach in the world. So what Bielsa could do with Dan James is different, right? No, I do think there's a player in there. Look, in all seriousness, I think there is a player there in Dan James. I think maybe a little bit too much was put on him in that first season when he came in, and naturally, a bit like Lingard. I think Lingard went through this in that when Man United are playing well, there's certain individuals that seem to get the brunt of it, and I feel like Dan James has become that player. For the regime, Woodward, etc. It's all levelled at Dan James. I feel a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong. You can tell me different. I would take him. I think there's a chance he plays. I think the fact that maybe Dan James hasn't moved on is because Rashford is going for surgery. Sancho not quite up to it. So we might see Dan James. He threw him in.
I think he's going to start. He could start as well.
If he starts, we riot. If he starts,
I reckon
social media or Manchester United fans are going to riot if he starts. All the attacking options we have, he just needs to know. Like he can't be starting. He cannot be starting. Like there's so many. Like even though Rashford, Sancho might not be up to speed with the Diallo's there. Like no, you can play Donny out. Just anybody but Dan. I'm just tired of seeing this guy. I'm tired of seeing this man playing it. Like we know his deficiencies.
I feel for him, Oscar, man. I feel for Dan.
Take him.
You know what I mean?
Please take him. Please take him. He's just not for us. Like I said, at Leeds under Bielsa. Bielsa probably will be able to utilize him with our manager, and we know the deficiencies of Oli, like you called him, the PE teacher. He doesn't know how to utilize him. And it's like Dan James just suffers. And we've watched him suffer game in, game out. It's like he can't start. No chance. There's no way he should start.
I think for me, though, the key battle, mate, is going to be Calvin and Bruno. I think we've seen in that first game, Bruno, wandered around, pulled Calvin out of the middle, and you just ghosted straight through. We obviously changed it for the second game, and I think Calvin actually pocketed Bruno. He was very, very quiet in that game. So I think, that becomes a key battle for me.
What about this comment? Yeah, imagine what Bielsa could do with Phil Jones.
The preseason Pirlo.
Who's preseason Pirlo?
Andres Pereira.
Pereira.
Oh, right, okay.
Was he always bad in preseason? Yeah, he came back
in preseason. He's literally like Pirlo, hence the name. Like he's unbelievable. He's just got Rooney-esque goal the other day as well, off the crossbar, everything valued. But I think in terms of what you're saying regarding Dan James, I think me and Flawless could probably sit you for another 40 minutes explaining why Dan James would be better under Bielsa than he is with Oli, because Bielsa actually knows how to coach people. Similar to Pep in the sense that he gets the best out of people, he elevates their game. Oli for me is it's more of a manager. He's not really a coach. So for me personally, actually, one of the best signings we've done is Ramsey from Chelsea. I mean, I'm excited to see the different dimension that we're going to bring to the season, because he is actually a young coach, he's a bit more expansive in the way he coaches as well. I think Oli hasn't really had the backroom staff, which is one of the issues for me personally. But Flawless, in terms of this game from a Manchester United perspective, who do you think the main hitters are? What do you reckon, bro?
Well, we'll be looking at Bruno will start. So Bruno, of course, because pretty much everything we do goes through him. Pogba, if he plays, makes sense. Sancho, everyone's waiting on that. Whether he starts, whether he comes off the bench, you're looking at it. So they're the three I'm looking at. Pogba, Bruno, and Sancho, whether he starts or he makes it on. They're the three we are looking at. And then obviously, all eyes on Varane because they're the new signings. You know what it's like when United make a big new signing. So the eyes are going to be on Varane whether he starts or not. I hope to see him. People are talking about, oh, they're not up to speed, this, and that. Play them then. That's the way to get them up to speed. And then pull them off if needs be. Play Varane. Play Sancho. That's why I don't understand. Sancho didn't play too much in the Euros and France went out early in the Euros as well. So I don't understand why they're not up to speed. Like, what's happened? I don't get it. Like the Cavani one, it makes sense because Uruguay kind of went deep into the Copa America, I believe, boys. I don't understand why Varane and Sancho why are we so unprepared? Like we didn't know this game was
This is the thing, you know what, Flawless as well, right? So Ole Gunnar Solskjaer a couple of weeks, last week said, because I picked up on it on my video, he says, these teams that don't have any, not as many international players in their side have an advantage. And I was like, well, wait there. Calvin Phillips played in the final and was back 10 days ago. So that's on you, Ollie, for saying to these guys, take as much time as you want off, just coming in.
Agree.
Calvin was back there 10 days ago and he got to the final. So I don't understand that either.
Don't get it. And the thing is with Calvin Phillips, he played the majority of the games as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Sancho didn't play. Sancho didn't play the majority of the games. Varane went out in, I think it was the round of 16. Like, so why are these players?
I think the Varane case is different because it's because of COVID, actually.
Oh, did he have to quarantine of stuff like that?
Yeah, he had to quarantine and he's got like COVID restriction. But I completely agree with that. The Sancho literally didn't play. I don't know why we're getting so much thinky all of a sudden. But yeah, Sancho
what, the fake accounts? That means you're blowing up, fam. When you get started getting the fake accounts, that means that you're making it. They're irritating.
But yeah, so I completely throwing me off there because it's spamming so much. But yeah, in terms of the man management leading up to the season, I feel like Varane arguably can get away with it, but Sanchez should be playing. You should be starting without a shadow of a doubt. Like for me personally, Ollie's kind of got it wrong in that sense, and I don't want that.
What I would say is though,
as well. Go on.
Not sorry to cut you off there, Usman. In terms of if it's 0-0 in the game with 20 minutes to go, from a Leeds fan's point of view, the last person I want to be seeing against Junior Firpo, who might not be fully adapted to the Bielsa system yet in terms of fitness, is Jadon Sancho. That's one that, like a direct winger who can just go at his man, put balls into the box, get shots off. He's some option to have off the bench. And that's, I think, the difference between this game and the game back in April was the 0-0 game, was that neither team really had any options off the bench. I think we brought on, Helder Costa, and you brought on, I can't remember who you brought on. I think you brought on Dan James. It's that kind of thing. Neither team had the game changers to change the game. And I think if it goes a similar way, where I fully expect us to go Dallas and click in midfield and try and tighten it up in terms of the midfield, and then allow Rafinha and Harrison to express themselves. But I expect us to keep it nice and tight in midfield. But if you've got game changers like that off the bench, Sancho, etc., even Greenwood, it could be a difference maker for you guys. So it's a worry for us. For me personally, that's something I don't want to see. If Sancho's not fully fit, that's a pretty amazing option to have off the bench, in all honesty.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a fantastic point that you made, Oscar, but we got a manager that doesn't know what a bench is. He doesn't like substitute.
He spent his career on one.
I know, exactly. This is what blows my mind. For a manager,
he spent his career on one. He made his career off being a super sub.
Honest to God, he doesn't use the bench at all. Like, I'd be surprised if he subs anyone. I mean, he's just giving Mata a 1-year contract. Mata ain't playing unless we've got like Tranmere Rovers in the Carling Cup or FA Cup. Like, Mata's not getting a game. Even if we're like 3-2 down and we need a creative player, he'll probably sub on, I don't know, Phil Jones from the death or something to get a goal from set piece or something. But listen, that's my biggest concern. We're not going to utilize the squad. Like, you didn't even mention it, but Van de Beek for me is he's another guy that can potentially shift the way the game's playing. There's a lot of players like that we've got at disposal. We haven't mentioned Martial at all. I'd assume he's probably starting, if not on the bench as well. So that's another option to come off as well that could cause you problems. But listen, let's get into the nitty-gritty. So I want to ask you guys, right? Do you think this game is going to pan out similar to the 6-2, not in terms of scoreline, in terms of obviously you score, we score sort of thing? Or do you think it'll be more to the 0-0, which was, let's be real, quite boring, but obviously Leeds needed to do what they got to do? Flores, we come to you first and foremost. Do you think it's going to be an open affair, or do you think it's going to be more cagey like the 0-0?
Nah, more cagey, simply because it's the opening game of the season. One, because it's the opening game of the season, and two, we spoke about it in depth already, the fitness levels of the players. So you're not really going to be going gung-ho, you know what I'm saying? And also on top of that, I think for Leeds, I think a draw suits them. Like, I don't think if Leeds draw it, I don't think the Leeds fans will be up in arms. You know what I'm saying? I don't think Oscar and Joe are going to be like, oh my God, how have we drew on the opening day at Old Trafford? So they'll be kind of content with that. Yeah, away from home, whereas we might be a little bit more upset with the draw, but you never know what you're going to get with Ollie. So yeah, I'm expecting a cagey affair. I'm there for one because of the fitness levels, and on top of that, it being an open game of the season as well. What was the last opening game of the season United played where it was gung ho and it was open? I can't remember what.
I feel like
normally
Swansea,
the cagey affairs.
4-1 or something under Moyes.
It was 4-0 under. Oh, I thought you were talking about under Mourinho. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, there was one under Moyes. I thought we were going to win the league. I said, who's Fergie after that game? But
this is what I'm talking about. But you're talking 7 years ago. That's what I'm saying. You're talking a whole 7 years ago. Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Is there still a copy of that video? Is there still a copy of that video at all?
Oh, God, listen, I've got it right here, man. Like, literally That's how long ago it was.
Yeah, someone correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but normally opening games to cagey
Chelsea
affairs.
4-0, of course.
Yeah, and even that wasn't the season before.
I mean,
even that 4-0,
it wasn't a.
He wasn't gung ho. You know what I'm saying? We was 1-0 up, and then we scored 3 late goals.
Palace battered us 3-1 last.
Wait, it wasn't gung ho though. Yeah. Nah, Palace beat us, but what I'm saying is, people, is them games there weren't gung ho. The Palace game, that I watched that, they scored a penalty. Zaha not scored, one of them not a penalty. One of them was a penalty.
I mean, De Gea saved his first penalty in about 90 years and they pulled it back.
Yeah,
so.
it's not like Palace came and like it was flying forward and it was 20 shots each side. That's my point. Is yes, games can be high scoring without being gung ho. So I'm not expecting this one. This game could be a 2-1. A 2-2, but I'm not expecting either team to come flying out of the block. Someone like, what throwback! This is great football. That's just me though.
No, I hear you, man.
I think you're going to get that. I think you're going to get that from Leeds. I do.
You reckon so?
Okay. Yeah. We notoriously start the season just crazy, like a bat out of hell. I think you'd go back to the Liverpool game last season, 4-3.
That was a mad
first season. That was such a good game, man. You guys won that. I was moving that day. I was like, bloody hell. Could have ran my agenda from the first game. Do you know what I mean?
And it's like first game under Bielsa, first season 3-0, second season 3-1, Liverpool 4-3. I just think the Leeds United in terms of fitness will be at peak. We will be at peak.
That worries me slightly.
This is why I was like, let Varane play. Let Sancho play because they're not going to be up to the levels. But that's just my opinion. I might be wrong.
You're right. You're right. We're not.
I think unless we at the back end of the season we've seen a definite switch where we were a little bit more defensive. So maybe he sees how successful that was, and this might mean a change this season. But I just think under Bielsa, notoriously, we've started like out of the blocks, and I think there's a big opportunity with fans back in the ground. I know at 3,000, they'll be noisy. If we start creating chances early doors, which we can, honestly, we'll do predictions in a bit, but I'm excited. I'm excited.
Joe, I can see it on your face.
Yeah, he's very excited. But you know what? All what you just said there, Joe, it's spot on. But wait until you run into Manchester United under Ollie in it, and then you're gonna find out.
Exactly.
Like you're gonna find out. We pragmatic. Like people are talking about the Leeds Liverpool game. I was talking specifically about United. Like we're not under Ollie. We haven't been expansive. There's not one point. Like we've had moments, but I don't remember an opening game under him where it's like, right, we flying and gung. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe we see a 5-4.
His first game in charge was probably.
Oh, that was fire. But you know what the difference is? That's interim manager Ollie. That's different. Interim manager Ollie and permanent manager Ollie are different. I love interim manager Ollie. He was different levels. Interim manager Ollie was different. Permanent manager Ollie, nah, I'm not behind.
Who can forget Rio? Get the contract. Sign it.
I mean, I was there. I'm not gonna lie. In terms of where Rio,
I was there. We was on it. I was with it. I thought we were back, Osman. I thought we was back. You know what I'm saying? We was beating everybody. I thought we was back.
Honestly, I'm happy I wasn't like frequent on YouTube there because I was thinking Ollie's at the wheel.
Yep.
I was doing the whole shebang. But listen, I want to get your thoughts, Oscar. Just before we do that, make sure you do get your comments in, people. Obviously, everyone's kind of agreeing with what you said. As the United way say, make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel if you are new. Everyone's links are down below, so make sure you show them love as well, and the channel links as well. So make sure you subscribe. Ben, Oscar, over to you. The question for you, mate. Obviously, you've heard what Joe said. You're gonna go gun ho. You've got the sort of track record to do so. But my question to you is, if you are Bielsa, I mean, it's hard to predict what he's gonna do, to be honest. What would you do if you're in charge? How would you approach this game? First game of the new season, away from home to Manchester United OT. How would you approach it if you're in charge?
Well, I think that game at Ellen Road, the 0-0 game, I think the problem we had on that game was Rafinha wasn't available. I think Bamford came off injured early in that game, or I might be thinking of another game. I think Bamford did come off injured, so we weren't. Yeah, it wasn't a great game, but we had a couple of little chances, and you thought we're just lacking quality here. I think we finished the game with Costa on one wing and Poveda on the other end. They're nowhere near. They're nowhere near at this moment in time. I think if you got Rafinha and Harrison there, and we're still going with that same plan, keep it tight in midfield, click Dallas in midfield together, protecting Phillips, and we're trying to hit you on the counter a little bit more, then yeah, if we go along with that kind of tactic with Rafinha and Harrison in there instead of Costa and Poveda, then yeah, there's a clear difference in quality, and we could, definitely get something from it. But I agree with Joe. I personally think we will go gung-ho. I think we've done it the start of every single season. Joe's spot on. I think obviously we have conceded a lot of goals in pre-season, but that is pre-season. I expect a pretty high-scoring game, to be honest with you. I don't think it'll be a game that kind of goes out of control for either team. I just think it'll be a really, I'm thinking 2-2, to be honest, in that kind of sense. I'm thinking that kind of game, probably a little bit similar to the Liverpool-Leeds game. I just think Liverpool, with you having players out, such as Rashford, etc., it being that start of the season, I think for both teams, maybe from time to time, it won't 100% click, in that final third. There might be time to time. You can tend to expect that, especially with players coming back late. But I think that affects you guys more than it does us. I think we've been able to play Rafinha, Bamford, and Harrison for pretty much all the preseason games. So that's good. The only thing that worries me, and I don't know if Joe will agree with this, is if we go with Rodrigo in midfield. That was the problem last time at Old Trafford. I love Rodrigo. Don't get me wrong. I think he's a fantastic player. Yeah. But he's not a midfielder for me. Yeah, I've said it a couple of times. No, he doesn't. I mean,
he's getting overrun quite a lot because of him.
Scott McTominay left him twice in the first 3 minutes, as we said. It was Rodrigo's man. Yes, Calvin maybe could have picked him up as he got into that box, but it's initially Rodrigo who lets him go. We played man-to-man marking. You've got to be able to do that. And I think even from a pressing point of view, he's still not quite at it, Rodrigo, in that kind of sense. I just see him personally as a centre forward, as backup, or
he did well. He did well.
Yeah, he did. But that was as a centre forward. That's the thing.
Exactly. But that's what I mean. He might be challenging Bamford for that.
But the thing is, as well,
Rodrigo starts in, I'm not going to lie.
But Rodrigo's played every game in pre-season, so I'm saying like Dallas and Click. There's even a rumour that Dallas might go to left back and Rodrigo might go to midfield, and Firpo might not start in this game, which I think would be chaotic because that's pretty much the same team we went to Old Trafford with last time. Dallas played left back in that game.
Just run it back, Oscar. We don't mind. We don't mind. We're two goals. We're happy to get that. I was going to get this comment up because I'm just sat here laughing to myself, and I think Flawless has probably seen it. Rayan, who's a Liverpool fan, saying Rafinha's better than that
Ryan.
That bad in fraud. That plays on that right wing, aka Salah. So
he's not wrong. He's not wrong, is he?
Okay, fair enough. I mean,
he's saying Rafinha. The thing is, though, as a Liverpool fan, it's like
I am already messing. I am. Yeah. Lads, I'm messing, by the way.
No, you delivered it. It's because of the compassion you showed before about Varane and Sancho maybe not playing, so that's why we got confused. That's what it was. I wasn't sure.
You know what? I genuinely believe you as well. I'm not going to lie. But Flawless, I'm going to get your thoughts on how we're going to approach the game, or how you would approach the game. We'll get everyone's team lined up. Score prediction, job done. Make sure you get your comments in the chat. Flawless, over to you, bro. How would you approach it if you are Ole Gunnar Solskjaer?
Offensive mindset. Like, don't sit back because we know Leeds are going to come and they'll try to play their game. And if they will go offensive like both Joe and Oscar have made, we know what we're like on the counter-attack. That is one thing we are good at. So we'll be able to catch them on the counter-attack if needs be. But I'd approach it. I wouldn't wait for Leeds to attack us, for them to counter on them. Because then if they go a goal up, the fitness levels, all this type of thing, because they've had a better preseason, that could cause major issues going into the game. So I'll be on the front foot and just go and try and win the game. I'm saying in that front foot football attack, 11 for 11, I think we're better than them. So then I would treat the game as such and go for it and try and get a couple goals early. That's what I would try and do. Definitely, crowd's going to be up for it. Obviously, it's Leeds at home, opening day of the season. I'm not sure the capacity if it's a full house, but the place is going to be rocking, like the comment said. So that would be me. Front foot football, man. Go attack.
Absolutely, man. Fearless. We're at home, first game of the season. Rayan, I see your comment, but I'm not going to ask for this because it's going to be something stupid. Let me just get this question. Over to you, Joe. Do you have a tattoo of Bielsa yet? It's the question. Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, I didn't know that was. I just assumed they were taking the piss.
Yeah, dude. It's on my calf, though. It's on my calf, and I'm wearing shorts, so you don't want me to be like. It's a tattoo of Bielsa on my calf in front of the Leeds badge, mate. I've got to, man. He's changed my football club. I've been in the doldrums so long. It's the football, man. It's the best thing. I'll never forget that first game under Bielsa against Stoke. It was the best moment ever. I was pinching myself like, what's going on here? What am I seeing? Like, honestly, it's just he's brought it back. He's brought it back, and now look where we are. You know, it's amazing. I love him.
Yeah, no, he's absolutely phenomenal. I always say to myself, imagine what you do with our players. Like what he's doing to your lot's players. You guys genuinely play. After Man City, the best football in the league, or the most exciting team to watch. I think even as most neutrals would probably agree, they always, if Leeds are playing, it's going to be a good game. Regardless of what the score is, it's going to be entertaining either way. So, yeah, look, fair play to Bielsa. He's absolutely smashed it. But I know everyone needs to go, so we'll wrap it. Just going to quickly get everyone's team selections. Oscar, first and foremost, will come to you, mate. If you're in charge, trying to predict what Bielsa is going to do, like I said earlier, is impossible, isn't it? What would you do, Oscar, if you're in charge? First game away at Old Trafford, what would you do, mate?
Well, for me, Meslier in goal, back four, Ayling, Koch. I'm going to go Pascal Strauch as well. That might be a controversial one, but looks like Llorente's out. If Llorente's not out, he comes in for Koch. Simple as. Left back and go Firpo. Phillips holding midfield. Rafinha right. Harrison left, Click and Dallas in midfield, Bamford up top is what I'd go for.
I think Flawless is laughing at the way you said Koch's name. I don't know why I was so immature, but I was just trying to hold in, but I just couldn't. But
he might captain us. He might captain us on Saturday. He's captained us.
I can see Flawless is holding it in as well.
You never heard of Robin Koch?
No, it's not even the word. It's just the way you said it. It's just the way you said it. It's just, I'm sorry, Bachar, man.
It's husband's fault. I wouldn't even say. I just see you swallow the laugh. You know what's the laugh when they swallow it.
Anyways, Joe, over to you, mate. What's your lineup? Is Koch starting? What he does?
No, I don't think he does personally. I think Liam Cooper, Captain Cooper, will start at centre back. Hopefully, Calvin makes it. Firpo again. I want him to play as well. We'll have to wait and see.
I think right. I've got it now. Yeah. I've got it now.
I think he will start with Rodrigo in midfield as well. We'll have to wait and see how that pans out, though.
I really hope that's the case. I'm not going to lie. I think we'd overrun you if Rodrigo's, but I don't know why he does that. To be honest, I think he's done fantastically well towards the end of the season. Just keep him up front. Bamford. I'm going to say this, and it's probably going to come back to him. I really hope Bamford starts over Rodrigo. Bamford, for me, he just misses too many chances. And in these big games, you got to be clinical. Look, don't get me wrong, he's done really well for you guys.
17 goals last season, man. Put some respect on his name.
No. Listen, he's done really well, yeah. But I get it. If you had a clinical striker, you would have actually probably got Europe, because I think he missed too many chances. For me personally, but obviously it's difficult to find those kind of clinical players. But Flawless, what's your lineup, bro? Who are you going for, my guy?
I'm trying to think who's actually available, because I'm hearing
it's difficult.
I know it's De Gea or Henderson. One of them's not around. One of them's missing.
De Gea's starting 100%. Henderson.
All right, so De Gea's in goal. It'll probably be centre backs will be Maguire and Lindelof will go with. I'm hearing both Shaw and Tellez are both unavailable as well. This is what I've heard.
I'm not aware of that because I have to sort my fancy football team out. That's
sure. Depending on whichever one of them's available, they'll play Wan-Bissaka. Who does he go with in the midfield? He
Who
probably
would you
goes
go
my.
for? Who
Who would I go for? Oh, my team. Who would I go for?
Because he's playing with Fred, and I don't even know why we do this.
That I'd probably go with the Matic Donny in the. I prefer 4-3-3, but I would play Matic Donny and Bruno. That's my midfield three.
Rayhan Buff.
And then he's wilding with that. Yeah, he's wilding with that. Probably
Sure,
Pogba from the left, Greenwood from the right, and Martial up top. That'd be my three.
You know
That's
what?
I'd go with.
We've gone for the exact same. That's exactly what I've got written down. Pogba left wing, Martial up top, Greenwood right wing. But I think Van der Beek and Matic for me, if they play,
I'll go with those.
If they're not gonna play, but if they do play, I'm very confident that we're going to win this game because they're that good at keeping the ball, and it's going to be a difficult day, especially if Rodrigo's in midfield. He's going to struggle against them too. They're very good at keeping the ball. With Bruno in front of them, I think that would be the perfect combination. Van der Beek, Bruno, and Pogba on the page, all very good on the ball. One-touch football. Martial likes to play one-touch football as well. And as we know, Greenwood was clinical. So, yeah, I would go with the exact same team. Just want to get everyone's score predictions. Oscar, over to you. What are your thoughts?
I'll say 2-2. I think it'll be a good game. I think both teams will go at each other. But I just think in terms of fitness and that lot, we've got enough to get a result here. I personally think Man United aren't going to be fully in gear. I think it's a decent time to play him first game of the season. Might come back to haunt me that, but I think it's a similar kind of situation to Liverpool. We only just got beat by Liverpool this time last season. And I'll be totally honest, I think that Liverpool team at the time, they've just come back from being champions. We're the season a year wiser. 2-2. We've got enough to get a result here.
All right, fair. We've got 3-1 United from Ben. I mean, that could be either United. He hasn't specified. Joe, what do you reckon? What's his score prediction?
I'm going 2-1 Leeds, mate. 2-1 Leeds coming away from Old Trafford. All that excitement.
That would be
these new signings, etc.
Oh
we just come away. So, yeah, 2-1 Leeds. I've said it. This isn't just because I'm here. I've said it for a good few weeks now. I just think the level will be at fitness, and in terms of the way we'll come flying out of the blocks, I don't think they'll be ready. I don't. So I'm gonna go 2-1 Leeds.
Fair enough. Flawless. What are your thoughts, mate?
I'm going 2-1 Manchester United. Simply because what I'm expecting from us here is the individual brilliance to carry us through. Like, it's carried us all the way to Wires. Ollie still has the job, and I expect this to carry on. With obviously Joe mentioned there about the fitness levels, but when you have Martial, Greenwood, Bruno, Pogba, possibly Sancho in the mix, one of those five or two of those five, I expect to pull it out of the bag and put in a performance that helps us win this game. So that's why I say 2-1 Manchester United.
All right. No, I was going to say 2-1, but that's boring to copy you. So I'm going to say 3-2 Manchester United.
Okay,
I'm expecting
five goal thriller, yeah?
I mean, to be honest with you, it's going to be entertaining, I think, personally. First game of the season, as Joe said, they're going to be coming out of the blocks. They're raring to go, man. Leeds ain't here to piss about. And I'm expecting it to be a good game, which does concern me because our defense with Lindelof is suspect. But anyways, that is the end of the preview. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed. It's been absolute quality. Make sure you drop a like, subscribe to the channel. Before we go, as always, I'm going to pass it over to you, Oscar, first and foremost. Shout out your socials. Obviously, shout out where people can find you, that kind of thing. I will be with you on Thursday as well, so that's obviously quality. But Oscar, let the people know where they can find you, bro.
Yeah, so you can find us on All Leeds TV on YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, all sorts of things. I mean, I signed up for all sorts of things now.
Are you dancing, mate?
I was born 40, so I'm not anything outside of Twitter and Instagram and Facebook is too much for me. It's too much for me. I can't cope with it, to be fair. So, but we are on like loads of different things anyway. But Twitter, YouTube, you can mainly find us on. Obviously, husband, you'll be coming on Thursday at 6 o'clock. So make sure you check that out, guys. Do a quick little live opposition preview. So yeah, check us out anyway. Doing little bits and pieces around the game as well. Much appreciated if you could hit that subscribe button. Cheers, guys.
You'd love to see. Make sure you show love to his TikTok as well. He's just getting confident. Go and show Oscar some love. Joe, over to you. I'm
gonna have to start dancing now, aren't I?
No, I mean, you win. I'm expecting to dance. I'm not gonna lie, but I'll see you one. No,
should have just left it at Instagram, shouldn't and just
no. Follow the TikTok as well, people. Joe, where can people find you, mate?
Yeah, Just Your Football Show is heavily Leeds based. No TikToks on my watch, but if you check the link in the description, I do watch alongs of all other Premier League games. I'll have my opposition preview And obviously the Manchester United preview coming this week as well. So subscribe to the channel.
Oscar, we got a recommendation here. Do the like crouch. Yes. Obviously, as Ed was saying, smash the like, all that good stuff.
Yes, hit the like button here, people.
Yes, Flawless. Tell the people where they can find you, my guy.
Yeah, Twitter and Instagram at That's Me Flawless. And then make sure you subscribe to Sarcasm City TV. And make sure you subscribe to Sarcasm City TV on YouTube as well as Twitch as well, because we have separate content on each. On the YouTube, multiple shows. Obviously, Manchester United shows, but we got a Chelsea show we launched yesterday, Arsenal show, Manchester City show, Liverpool show that's launching this week. And it's not just football. You got basketball shows on there as well. We do all sports and as well current affairs shows. So make sure you check out the upcoming live stream section because we go live every day. Multiple things. Rookie watch-alongs. Oh, 9. See, there's even there is Love Island shows on there. They're doing recaps on the channel. I'm not involved in that, but Ryan is hosting that up. Yes, that's going on. Like I say, multiple.
I reckon Ryan will be going over to check Oscar's TikTok out.
Yeah, Rayhan's already there, mate. I'm sure
Ryan's definitely. But yes, just salute to my guy Ryan, because not only does will he be hosting a Liverpool show that launched tomorrow, he also hosts, like you said, the Love Island stream. So if that's your thing, whatever you like, it's over there on the channel. If that's your thing, like I'm not involved. He was like, I want to do a Love Island. So I'm like, go right ahead, and he did. Yeah, exactly. That was my fault.
I'm not gonna lie. I'm surprised you're giving the keys to that Liverpool show because he absolutely hates Salah, which is controversial.
It's gonna be great. Yeah,
to say the least. But listen, obviously, make sure you stop a like, subscribe to the channel, follow everyone's social down below. The links are down below, anyways. Obviously, in case you've forgotten, I will put Oscar's TikTok below as well, so make sure you check that out.
It's getting deactivated. I don't have any control of it, but it's getting deactivated.
Oh God! Follow me on all social Usman Talks United. I've actually got a TikTok as well, but that's just me. All goal reactions and no dancing. Sorry, I do. You know, I just can't provide that content. I haven't got the moves in it like Oscar over here. But anyways, slap a like, subscribe to the channel. It's been your boy Usman. Stay tuned tomorrow. Kojo show. I believe it's a preview for the Super Cup. Hopefully, it's a good evening.